When it comes to family, I have to say the big takeaway from our last podcast was how good of a relationship you have with your children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want that relationship. If I have a daughter,
Yeah.
I want what you have with Sabrina.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like, because I just saw the way she looked at you.
Yeah.
And the way you treated her and saw her and wanted to like push her out of her comfort zone. I really admired that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's like if you took everything away from me, it'd be the kids, man. Like even more than my, I don't want my wife to hear this, but because I wouldn't have the kids without the wife. But my wife's been a great choice for me. But the kids, man, there's nothing richer.
How do you raise good kids like that?
Well, it's always like, okay, is this going to always work? I'll keep waiting for the other foot to fall off, the shoe to fall off. Okay, maybe they're going to turn on me. They're 16 and 14 now. So, I invest time with them, man. I spend a lot of time with them. I've changed my whole schedule. I have never not taken their phone call. If they called in right now, I'd take the call. I bring them to meetings with me. I create stuff with them. I only had 10 years with my dad, and I'll bet you I didn't have 10 days out of 10 years. And I just, like I'm going to spend time with these kids. That's why we homeschooled them. We didn't homeschool them because we thought it was good for them. We thought it was good for me.
Really?
100%. I'm like, I get to see them in the morning. I'm not going to drive. We were driving them to school. I'm doing the drive to school. So that's not quality time. They're 6 and 8 years old. You're missing the best moments of the life. You're driving them to school. To what? To go to prison. And then I got to go pick them up on their schedule. And then we went to the school and I said, I want to take my kids out of school for 3 months. You can't do that. I said, what do you mean I can't do that? How about this? How about I just take them out forever? We took them home and started homeschooling them. And so when I leave in the morning, they're there. When I come home, they're there. Or I say, hey, go to work with me. So right now they're working on 2 programs, but anytime they're home in Miami, they're going to be in the office with me, making calls, listening to calls.
What values do you try to instill in them?
I had a guy named Johnny that's worked for me for years. Scarlett was sitting there. Johnny came in. I said, Johnny, I need this, and this done. He's like, starts giving me some bullshit. And I'm like, hey, what the fuck are you talking about? I forgot she was there. I said, I'll fucking smoke your ass right now. Get you the fuck out of here. You've been here. I don't want any backlash. And she's watching all this. And then she watches me go back and say, Johnny, man, I might have overreacted there. And he's like, no, you didn't. It was right. I was acting like a dick. I said, you fucking A right you were. Never do that again. And Scarlett got to see all that. And she got to see me go back and talk to him. And she got to see him come back and say he was wrong. Sabrina was in one of these very, very big negotiations, big, massive deal. She got to watch all the parts of it. People are getting emotional. People are accusing people. Sabrina and Scarlett were both in Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs meetings where we were talking about taking the companies public. They're in these meetings, listening to all these extremely intelligent people. And their job is this. Your job is to take notes. They both have to take notes. And they're just sitting there. The bankers at the end are like, what did you guys write about? And I said, you write down everything you don't understand. You write it. Anything you don't understand, you write it down, the word, and we'll go back and look them up later.
Wow.
So that's, I invest a lot of time with them, man. And in some ways, it's overpowered me being a better husband because I've thrown myself so much into being a parent that, like there's not enough left over to say, I need to be spending that same time on my marriage and with my wife and honoring her and spending time with her and including her. So it's got a little bit of a trick,
Yeah.
Do you think that your kids are happier this way? Or do you think that there's a part of them that a part of a child?
He always goes there.
What?
I don't know, dude. How do I know? How do I know which way they'd be happier?
You could ask them if they enjoy and they're happy.
But they have nothing to compare to. So look, they lost a lot of stuff by being homeschooled. They're not part of the soccer team. They're not cheerleaders. They're not part of the club, whatever clubs they're doing today. So they don't get all that.
Do you think it's worth it to let them explore some of those things just to have that experience?
I mean, they're 16 and 14. Like they're exploring stuff. They I know their kids, their friend. Thank you. I know their friends are all talking about whatever 14-year-olds talk about. Sabrina's dating. So
How's that?
I know what I was
father?
doing when I was 15.
Yeah, what's that like?
Dude, it's like, okay, bro, you just gotta like understand. She don't grow up without growing up. So you got to wish for her to grow up. Like I always say, I don't want to get older. Yeah, Grant, you actually want to get older because if you don't get older, you die. So my kids got to grow up. They got to grow through it.
Do you do background checks on like if she's gone on a date?
Put a PI on the guy she's going out with?
I think it's, right?
You think it's smart, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
If I were you, I probably would be doing a lot of
Would you have
research.
NDAs?
Yes.
Of course.
Sounds like something.
Would you do a background check? Would you do a
Yes.
financial check on the family members?
Probably not a financial. What you would think that maybe they put the guy up to dating your daughter so that then
Dude,
they could get
everybody
some
wants to
money or
date my
something.
daughter. So you kidding? Like.
Maybe not the financial check, but I do like
You
a
should.
criminal background.
You're just not.
So what if they checked every box, but they came back as broke?
Yeah. Well, you can be with them, dude. You're not. Those kids aren't getting any money. Like, why would I would tell my kids, look, why are you with a guy that can't produce?
Well, it's a kid. it's like
My kids produce.
well.
So who's paying for fucking lunch?
I
Who's
feel
paying
like
for lunch? Who's paying for lunch? Let me ask you that.
And so you'd be livid if your daughter went out with a guy and she paid for lunch.
Over and over again? 100%.
If it becomes
I'm like, hey guys,
consistent habit.
like, who's paying for lunch? I ain't paying for it. I already told everybody I'm not paying for it. So you got $8,000 a month. Scarlett's got maybe $3,000 or $4,000 a month. Okay, you guys are going to deplete your funds here. You're with a kid that can never pay. You're with a kid that can't be in exchange. He's not going to even feel good about this shit. He's going to feel like your little bitch here in a little bit. He's going to resent you. Okay, you never want to have that much power in a relationship where you're paying for everything. So when we go to lunch, sometimes my kids pay. I'm like, you guys pay for lunch. How much is it? I don't know. It's your fucking bill. It ain't mine.
It sounds like having kids was a good financial decision for you.
Well,
You get the 1%, you get the money back into the fund.
But why shouldn't my kids, like every time a bill comes when I'm with my kids, okay, I'm like, you want to pay for it or you want me to pay for it? Okay, good. I'm going to pay for it. I'll pay for this one, but you tell me how much we should tip the waiter. Well, how much should I tip? I don't know. How good was he? Wasn't very good at all. Good, put 0. And you give it to the waiter. I wanted to tip the guy. By the way, tell him I wanted to tip him, but you didn't because you thought the service sucked. In all those exchanges, however they turn out, she's learning something. Scarlett, on the other hand, is like, I want to give him 20%. I said, do you want to give everybody 20%? Because it's my money. Let it be your money. Let's see how much you want to give. And then they're like, shit. See, they learn. They don't learn by me telling them.
You know what's interesting is I asked you if you'd be okay if your wife made more money than you. And you're like, well, good luck, basically.
Yeah.
And you're raising a daughter that will likely end up making a lot of money. She's already made millions. And so
100%.
in the dating marketplace, like, if she will realistically be the breadwinner in whatever relationship she ends up getting into, correct or false?
Maybe not. I mean, no. She could marry up.
She will be.
She could marry up.
Yeah.
She should, by the way, if she's watching this, both of them, I would highly recommend they both marry up.
And would she then give up on, like, to be a mother, give up on all of her business ventures, the stuff she's doing with you in order to then be a mother?
No, that's up to her, It depends on the deadbeat she's with, So,
How hard is it to like the guy that your daughter's going on a date with?
Not hard.
Okay.
Not hard. No, he's a likable enough guy, But, the question now is like, whose name? I've always had this conversation with him. Like,
interesting.
Whose name you going to keep? I really would appreciate if you guys would keep my name on the brand here. And not Sabrina Cardone Jefferson, Sabrina Cardone, period. Like, no, don't add a name.
And should he take Cardone?
Good for me. Fucking why not, dude?
More branding, dude.
Okay.
Think of the
Now, and by the way, I don't want to put you guys in a bad situation. You got to have a prenup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't do one. I don't have a prenup. But
do you wish you did?
Yeah, yeah. It was a mistake, and I'll tell you why in a second. these guys will not be given money if they don't have a prenup. So you guys can not have a prenup, but you're not going to get any of my money. You will be excluded from the will if you don't have a prenup. So that takes the pressure off of them to do it. Now, why do I regret not getting a prenup? First of all, I trusted Elena explicitly. She's not a gold digger. She says she is, but that she doesn't mean it like that. She means she wants the best out of everything. And she wants us to do well. And she knows that I'm ambitious and I want to do well. But she wasn't with me for the money. In fact, the money turned her off. She thought it meant she was going to lose some power because I had money. And I wasn't rich. I mean, I was doing all right, but I wasn't super rich. And so I'm just like, yeah, we'll figure it out later. That's the problem with the prenup. Okay. You either get an agreement or you leave it where there's no agreement. You understand? So when you don't have a prenup, the beautiful thing about a prenup is you now agree it's not about money. And as time goes on later, as people have problems and difficulties, there's this thing hanging over you like, shit, we're going to have to figure out whether this is about money or not. And now we got to negotiate something. This should have already been negotiated.
A really scary truth is just how vulnerable your digital life is, and most people have no idea until it's too late, and then they're stuck spending several hours trying to solve a problem that they did not create. So don't be like my roommate Kevin, because I kid you not, his identity got stolen 2 years ago, and guess who's still paying for it? Me. Because the one thing he still can't recover is his Venmo.
See, the trouble with identity theft and fraud is that it doesn't happen all at once. And by the time you notice, usually the damage is done.
And that's exactly where our sponsor, 𝗪𝗓𝗡, comes in. It catches problems early by keeping an eye on your identity, credit, financial accounts, and online activity altogether. And the best part is that setting it up only takes a few minutes, and then from there, it works quietly in the background all day, every day.
𝗪𝗓𝗡 monitors your credit activity, data breaches, and the dark web using AI-powered detection tools that are able to spot suspicious activity in real time. If it finds something unusual, you get an alert that tells you exactly what happened and the next steps to take.
You can lock your credit, secure all of your accounts, and fight fraud with just one click. If identity theft does occur, 𝗪𝗓𝗡 connects you with US-based specialists to restore your identity and handle the damage with up to $2 million in identity theft insurance.
So head on over to 𝗪𝗓𝗡.com/iced to get 50% off of your first month and see for yourself if your information's actually secure.
Seriously, guys, the peace of mind is worth it. Protect your credit, identity, and online data today. Again, that is 50% off your first month at 𝗪𝗓𝗡.com/iced.